Have you ever noticed how the quietest person in the room is usually the one people feel the least threatened by? Yeah. That's because most people don't understand silence. They think quiet means weak. They think quiet means scared. They think quiet means there's nothing going on inside. No, silence is not empty. Silence is loaded. And the moment you underestimate a quiet person, that's the moment you sign your own warning letter. Because quiet people don't react. They don't explode. They don't announce their plans. They wait. And when they finally move, they move in ways you can't undo. Let me tell you a story about a man named Nick. Nobody noticed Nick, and that wasn't by accident. Nick showed up every single day at the same time. Same seat, same posture, same calm expression. While everyone else talked loud, laughed louder, and tried to dominate every room they walked into, Nick stayed quiet. Not awkward, not nervous, just quiet. The kind of quiet that makes people uncomfortable because they don't know what you're thinking. And in a world where confidence is measured by volume, Nick was immediately misunderstood. People assumed things about him without ever asking. They decided who he was without ever listening. They thought he lacked ambition, thought he didn't have leadership potential, thought he was just another background character, collecting a paycheck and going home. Some of them said it behind his back, some said it to his face, and Nick, he didn't correct them. Because explaining yourself to people who already made up their mind is exhausting. And Nick had learned early in life not to waste energy where it doesn't grow results. What no one realized was this. Nick was watching everything. Every meeting, every conversation, every interruption, every fake laugh, every time someone took credit for work they didn't do. Quiet people see patterns others miss because they're not busy talking. They're busy observing. Nick understood something most people don't. The loudest person in the room is rarely the most powerful, just the most insecure. Nick didn't always live in silence. When he was younger, he talked, asked questions, shared ideas, got excited about possibilities. But every time he opened his mouth, someone shut him down. Teachers told him he was over, friends told him to chill, adults told him to be realistic. Slowly, painfully, he learned that speaking too much only gave people ammunition to dismiss you. So he adapted. He didn't stop thinking. He didn't stop dreaming. He just stopped explaining. Silence became his armor. Years later, Nick found himself working at a fast-paced American tech company, the kind with open offices, cold coffee, and motivational quotes plastered on the walls that nobody actually believed. Everyone wanted to be seen. Everyone wanted to be heard. Everyone wanted to be important. Nick's manager, Ryan, was the definition of loud confidence. Big voice, big personality, big ego. Ryan loved meetings because meetings meant attention. He talked fast, talked long, and talked over people. He believed leadership meant dominance. Nick sat at the edge of the room, quiet as always, and that bothered Ryan more than he'd ever admit, because silence forces insecure people to confront themselves. One afternoon, during a crowded meeting, Ryan snapped. Maybe it was stress. Maybe it was ego. Maybe it was fear. He looked straight at Nick and said, "Man, you ever gonna speak up? Or you just here to enjoy the free air conditioning?" The room laughed, that uncomfortable laugh, the kind that says, "Please don't make me the target." Next, Nick paused, looked at Ryan.com still, and said, "I'm good." That was it. No argument, no explanation, no emotion. But something shifted in that moment, because silence used correctly is power. From that day on, Nick made a decision, not an emotional one, a strategic one. He stopped hoping to be recognized. He stopped expecting fairness. He stopped waiting for permission. He went to work, real work. While others clocked out, Nick stayed late. While others chased praise, Nick chased mastery. He learned systems no one else bothered to understand, studied data others ignored, built skills others thought were unnecessary, the kind of skills that don't impress people, until everything breaks. Quiet people don't prepare for applause. They prepare for reality. Weeks passed, and months, and one random Thursday, the storm arrived. The company lost a major client. Millions vanished overnight. Panic spread through the building. Executives demanded answers. Meetings stacked on meetings. Everyone scrambling to protect themselves. Ryan talked a lot, but nothing he said fixed anything. Then the CEO asked a simple question that froze the room. Does anyone here actually understand what went wrong? Silence. Heavy silence, and then Nick raised his hand. Slow.com, unbothered. Nick stood up. No rush, no nerves, and he spoke, clear, precise, controlled. He broke down the data, explained the warning signs everyone missed, highlighted decisions that led to failure. And then this part mattered. He offered solutions. The room changed. People leaned forward, eyes locked in. The CEO looked at him and said, "Why haven't we heard this before?" Nick shrugged. No one asked. That was the moment. A week later, Nick was promoted. Bigger role, more authority, direct access to leadership. Ryan was reassigned quietly. No announcement. No drama. Just gone. Because power doesn't shift loudly. It shifts inevitably. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Quiet people are dangerous. Not because they're angry, but because they're patient. They don't rush. They don't react. They don't waste energy, proving themselves to people who won't matter in the long run. They build in silence. They sharpen in the dark. They wait until action speaks louder than words ever could. So if you're quiet, don't apologize for it. Don't explain it. Don't try to be louder to fit in. Let them underestimate you. Let them talk. Because one day, when you finally move, they won't laugh. They won't interrupt. They'll listen. And by then, it'll already be too late.